Alrighty, here we go. Tonight's race will be at Eurospeedway Lausitz for the USA Truck Series. Let's see, Eurospeedway for 200 miles. Here we go.
Favor, just touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it.
So yesterday, Jack Davis ended up coming home victorious in what was his third race started. He come out winning it. We had Krista Cower, who was pretty dominant for most of that race, and she just came up a little bit short at the end. So Armory Digital Super Speedway definitely did not disappoint. I'm hoping that Eurospeedway will provide us with some good action tonight too. Let's see, I can actually speed up through the qualifying. So on the pole for today's race is Ben Dover over Al Bunch, Tim Hansen, Zach Armstrong, Maggie Reams, Jessica Hergeson, Tim Cording, Jack Davis, Guido Piano, and Philip Leeds to round out your top 10. Starting in dead last is Louis Trost, and the driver with the opportunity to take home Columbia this time will be Brandon Petrolsky. Also, amongst the top 5 from last night, if Jack Davis, James Robert, Ben Dover, or Chaz Chadwick pull off a top 5 today, they will earn Pepsi as a sponsorship, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Ben Dover's already sitting well for that as he's on the pole.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
How about Shannon? Oh, this clear. Boy, you sound good. Side pulls the whole thing off.
Pace truck is off and everyone is going green right here. Our current points leader is that of Chaz Chadwick, who's starting about 30th place in the race. He's going to have quite the amount of positions to gain here if he wants to get back to the front. 26th on back only pays 5 points apiece, so that's how the two of them were able to maintain a 1-point deficit in that one race where they both finished outside the top 25. First lap of the race was led by Ben Dover. So we got a bunch of 3-wide action in the back here. Ben Dover actually off to a pretty steady lead at the beginning of this race. Aunt Me Person, who's second in the points, is looking to make up some ground, as he's only 11 points out of the lead right now. Looks like Al Bunch is going to the lead. Ben Dover maintains it for this lap. Zach Armstrong seems to start strong, but is yet to figure out how to finish these races so far. Ben Dover he's showing to be quite the surprise coming into the series late and being out front leading laps like this. He's going along to the tune of 5 laps led. Back of our field right now is held served by Roland Heidfeld here. William Kinsella, Paul Ladino, Tristan Reams, and Louis Trost, as well as Chaz Chadwick and Luis Rodriguez. Krista Cowers having a slow start to this race so far, running in 28th at the moment. Trevor Walker is also having a slow start. Jordan Walker is surprisingly having a mediocre showing so far. He's usually up front all the time. Then our top 20 starts right about here, where you got Austin Mullins, Nathan Morgan, Tayton Berggren, Matthew Fastnot, Kellen Oakley, John Brinker, and Braden Hunt. Atlee Weiss is continuing to run solidly in the top 15 every week. Tim Cording was one of the drivers that had a rough go of it last night. He was slowly starting to climb up the point standings, and with his finish last night, he came home in 23rd. It didn't cost him a whole lot as he still sits 3rd in the point standings, but definitely lost some ground to Chaz and Ant. James Robert and Kellen Oakley are close there behind him in 4th and 5th. Bunch of drivers in the top 10 that they're just a win away from being a contender for the rest of the season. Amongst the drivers locked into the first round of playoffs, once we get cut down to 12, which will be in another 8 races. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, 6 after this one will be into the playoffs already. And we'll be looking, that'll be September 14th, tentatively, be the start of the playoffs. Drivers that are locked in as of right now include Chadwick, me person, Cording, Oakley, Hansen, Reams, and Jack Davis. I would, as long as he finishes inside the top 30 in points within the next few weeks, he should be locked in as well. So that will basically bump out Matthew Fastnot on points at the moment. So Fastnot's going to want to try to either get a win or start racking up a bunch of points to keep from being on the bubble. Still plenty of racing to go, obviously. Armstrong here is trying to take the lead, and it looks like he might have to wait another lap here. Currently, Gavin Legend runs in P23. Right behind Taden Bergeron, who's running 22nd. Yeah, last night's race was a surprise winner with Jack Davis, so Ben Dover could make it 2 for 2 in the last two races with a surprise winner. I'm wagering we're gonna have maybe a pair of green flag pit stops unless cautions come out. So drivers out there are gonna have to pit at least twice to make it to the end. Top 5 as they run is Dover, Armstrong, Bunch, Maggie Reams, and Hergeson. This track's definitely racing more like a speedway than a super speedway. Back-to-back top 5 should move Ben Dover out of the bottom of the barrel where he sits 30th in the points. He's only separated by 24 points to get into the top 20. So looks like Maggie Reams is getting by Al Bunch for third there. Armstrong still struggling to find a pass. It looks like we might have a change for the lead here. These two are going to duke it out, but I believe Armstrong might come out in front here. A pair of passes almost executed simultaneously there. As we go back, it looks like Maggie actually did not succeed in making the move. Falls back into fourth. Armstrong still trying to get by him here for the lead. It's going to be a strong fight for lead position here. Yet again, it looks like Maggie's attempting on the inside. Zach Armstrong is credited with leading that last lap, even though it looks like Ben Dover is going to maintain that lead for now. Fifth place Hergeson looks like she's under attack from a swarm of trucks. Guido Piano and Tim Cording, followed by Jack Davis. And we got Aunt Me Person even further back there, along with Atlee Weiss. Meantime, Chaz Chadwick is stuck in 32nd place. Looks like Tayden Bergeron's fallen back to 33rd. Krista Cowers 31st. Tristan Reams is 30th. Jordan Walker in 29th. David Bird. Jessica Hergeson's gonna get passed here. Looks like maybe top 5 will belong to Guido in a while. Seems like the inside line can get momentum, but they can't complete the pass. The outside lane manages to stretch it out, get back around them. Moving up the list, it looks like Gavin Legends in 23rd right now. Matthew Fastnot's worked his way into the top 15. Tim Cording is going to try to get by Jessica here for 6th. Oh, Aunt Me Person wants to nudge his way in there. And gets Tim a little bit loose there, it looked like. Brandon Petrolsky is actually doing pretty good. Worked his way up to 18th so far. Him and Kellen Oakley are both on the move. I swear, Tayden's truck must be cursed. I don't know how you can go from upgrading your truck ratings and still struggle. So our top 4 remains pretty much unchanged for the most part. Top 2 still Dover and Armstrong, as it looks like they're stretching it out even further on Bunch and Reams. Guido Piano is our new top 5 contender right now, having bumped Jessica Hergeson out. Right now, our most notable battles seem to be towards the back of the field, as we've got some drivers coming up the list here. Looks like Matthew Fastnot knocked off some more positions, and he's up to 11th, as he just moved from 12th up to 11th there on that last lap. Weiss is sitting in top 10 there. Braden Hunt, looks like maybe Kellen Oakley dropped a few spots. He fell back to 19th. Or my bad, he was following right behind Petrolsky, so he's been staying pretty steady there in 19th. Petrolski, on the other hand, gained another spot up to 17th. Significant dominance from Bindover so far, leading out front. He's led every lap up to 23 here. Vito Piano looks like he might be getting within contention for 3rd and 4th place here. Making up some ground. Let's see on this lap how much he knocks off their time. He's close. He's catching them. He'll be within the same zip code as him in a matter of a lap or so. Maggie gets the pass done in the meantime on Al Bunch there. And now we've got Piano in with the top 3. Or he could be in the top 3 if he gets by these 2 drivers here. The outside, he's looking strong against Maggie. With that, he's going to get by Maggie and move into 4th place here. Showing some single truck strength out there. No, not much for drafting help or anything, just brute forcing his way to the front. Let's see if he can get by Al Bunch here. Maggie wants to get that position back, but I'm afraid Piano's truck might just be too fast. He's going to try to find a way around Bunch as well. Petrolski is officially in the top 15 now. Wow. Chaz Chadwick is running 34th right now, not able to find much speed this evening. That truck seems to be filled with rocks, as it's low at the back of the field. These 3 seem to have kind of plateaued. We got Gavin Legend running 26th right now. Philip Leeds in 23rd. Trevor Walker in 20th. Brandon Petrolski in 17th. Kellen Oakley in 15th. Matthew Fastnod in 13th. Atlee Weiss currently in 10th. Tim Cording in 8th. Looks like Amp Me Person is sneaking into the picture here. He's right there behind Jessica Hergeson. lead two of Bindover and Zach Armstrong continue to stretch their lead out on the rest of the field. Doesn't help when these three and the others get bunched up side by side by side. It slows them down and allows for the others to drive away. Doesn't seem like Armstrong is trying to race for the lead right now. He's saving his stuff and letting Bindover lead as many laps as he wants. About to hit lap 30 in this race. It's 30 laps in with no cautions. Your leader has been Bindover, who's led all 30 laps so far. Al Bunch is having a pretty good run, as well as Guido Piano and Maggie Reams. Our top points contenders is that of Aunt Me Person, who's running 7th, and our actual points leader, who's running dead last right now in 35th. It's crazy to think that our points leader's struggling so badly. Let's see if the chat... Pit stops? Pit stops, but not among the lead crowd. I wonder what that's all about. It shows in chat. That can't be right. I wonder if that's just a running log from all the races run, because I don't believe anyone's pitted yet. This might be our biggest battle here in the mid-pack for the top 10, it looks like. So we've got Aunt Me Person, Jack Davis, Atlee Weiss, Tim Cording, and Tim Hansen, followed by James King there. Looks like Guido Piano's finally going to work his way up to 3rd there, getting by Maggie and Al Bunch finally. Really, if it wasn't for the top 2 leaders, the rest of the field 3rd on back to at least 20th are separated by 4 seconds, which is a surmountable distance. You can make up that ground. I don't believe they're going to catch up to the lead 2 unless there's some mechanical or caution troubles to help them. We'll have to keep an eye here on Guido Piano now that he's got by some of the traffic that was holding him up, to see if he'll actually start running lap times competitive to the lead 2. Right now he has an 8.19 second deficit past the finish line here, and he gains some time on him. It's down to 7.95, so he might have a truck fast enough to catch up to the lead 2. definitely gonna have to come down to some pit strategy here, I believe. Since it doesn't seem like the draft's all that important here, they might actually be able to make solo pit stops and not lose any time. That means your fresh tires will be much more important the earlier you come in versus the guys that stay out later. Drivers like Chaz Chadwick and Taden Bergeron are going to have to hope for a caution. And maybe that caution takes out a fair amount of drivers as well. As long as you're not involved in it, that is. Gavin Legend gains a spot up to 25th. Guido Piano lost some more momentum to the lead too, so I don't believe he's got anything to catch him at this rate. Definitely driving away from fourth on back here. I think what we're seeing right now is the faster trucks moving to the front as the slower ones funnel to the back. Just like that, Amp Me Person's in the top 5 and working on fourth here. And we all know that he's got a fast truck. And we might have a mechanical failure or gas. Someone run out of gas? No. They're just, that's their commitment to pit road, so. So lap 38, which will likely convert to lap 75-ish, 76. Your early pitters here are likely gonna have some advantage on the leaders. They might be able to erase that 8-second deficit they had on Bindover and Zach Armstrong. They need this to play out so that there's no caution here. As they're coming out, they're already a lap down to the leaders. Leaders still haven't pitted yet. Still green, so we haven't got any cautions that'll totally screw it up. Willing to wager that these two will probably come in within the next couple laps here. Doesn't look like they're going to come in this time. All in the meantime, those that pitted first are out there on fresh rubber, making up some deficit on the rest of them. Guido Piano just barely comes out a lap down there. As these two are looking to push it to lap 80 for their last pit stop. And they are now coming down pit road right there. So it looks like in the meantime, Guido Piano will inherit the lead here. Me Person's gonna be right there behind him. The important story is to see if they can actually, and I don't believe they will, we'll have to see if they can beat Bindover off pit road. Currently pitting at the moment, as these two are getting their 4 tires, it looks like. coming off now. See where Guido Piano is. He's just entering the front stretch, so these guys that pitted last might be able to maintain their... They're going to maintain their lead, but we'll see how much that these guys... It looks like they're going to eat into that 8-second deficit pretty good here. It's going to be probably about... maybe about 5 or 6 second deficit instead of 8. And positions didn't change all that much, except it looks like Braden Hunt made up a lot of positions getting into the top 10. Top 2 leaders are out there by 5.5 seconds. So green flag pit stops paid off for third on back here. Albeit the top 2 now have the freshest rubber, so they'll most likely be turning the faster laps here for a while. So it looks like pit stops is what Chaz Chadwick needed to get out. Because of the pit stops, he gained about half the field worth of positions all the way up to 18th. Coming from roughly 35th midway through the field to 18th. Now 17th, so must have had a bad batch of tires or something. He's going to have an opportunity to minimize the points damage that Amp Me Personal likely eat into. Nice part, at least it looks like we'll have a 2-truck fight for the win all night. Perhaps Armstrong will actually have a decent finish for a change. Yeah, it looks like he might be able to. We'll see how that outside lane prevails here. If it'll, as long as he can make the slide job in front of him, he should be good. Looks like he's going to take the lead here on lap 45. Currently at the back of the field, we've got David Bird, Kinsella, Mullins, and then Jack Ross, who's in 32nd. Gavin Legend in 31st, and Tayden Berggren in 30th. Looks like Tayden just got by Tristan Reams there to move into 29th. Next target on the board will be Roland Heidfeld in 28th. And John Brinker then to follow. Krista Cower, Luis Rodriguez, Kellen Oakley with a rough run right now. Trevor Walker, Philip Leeds, James Robert, and Atlee Weiss fell back quite a distance. He was top 10, now he's top 20. Looks like James Robert gets by Weiss there to get into 20th place. Louis Trost with a decent improvement tonight. He had started about 33rd place, and he's up to 19th. Him and Chaz Chadwick both most improved. I'll be damned, Brandon Petrolsky up to 12th so far. Might be his most improved race, having started deep in the pack, up to 12th already. Currently halfway, and Zach Armstrong holds the lead so far. Guido Piano in 3rd, Ant Meatperson in 4th. Oh, and we got a caution at midway. Oh, and here we go. There's the wreck where it starts. Let's figure that out. So midway caution. This will likely help give everyone a chance to get caught back up. Looks like it was a 2-truck wreck here as Kellen Oakley just mistimes that. Gets into Philip Leeds there and causes the wreck. Kellen Oakley then runs right back into him there. Don't know what that was about, but surely wasn't retaliation. Philip Leeds would have been the one to retaliate there. All that does is ends up tearing Oakley's truck up a little bit further. I do believe that's it for where the wreck happened. This happened all the way back in 23rd place. Just run out of real estate there. So going into halfway, our leader is Zach Armstrong over Ben Dover. The rest of the field's going to have an opportunity to catch up to the leaders. We're going to see here if everyone pits for fresh tires. This puts it in a precarious position because we know for sure that a driver can make it 40 laps. That'll put him to lap 90, 89 to 90. So everyone is pitting. It doesn't look like anyone stays out. Looks like Ben Dover loses a couple spots on pit road there. I believe me person successfully passed him. It looked close right at the line there, but so our new top 5 is as included. Guido Piano's now second to our leader, Zach Armstrong. Aunt Me Person moves up to third, and Ben Dover drops back to fourth. Then we got Braden Hunt in fifth. Al Bunch, Tim Hansen, Nathan Morgan, Jack Davis, and Tim Cording for your top 10. Fastnot, Hergeson, Jordan Walker, Paulo Ladino, and Brandon Petrolsky, the top 15. Maggie Reams, Louis Trost, Chaz Chadwick, James King, and James Robert to your top 20. Then we got Trevor Walker, Luis Rodriguez, Atlee Weiss, Roland Heidfeld, and John Brinker to your top 25. Tristan Reams, Tayden Berggren, Jack Ross, Krista Cower, William Kinsella Jr. to your top 30. And it looks like Kellen Oakley is out of the race. Going to inherit that final position of 35th. Gavin Legend is 31st. His teammate Austin Mullins in 32nd. David Bird and the slightly damaged truck of Philip Leeds in 34th. This restart's going to be interesting since everyone's going to have fresh tires and an opportunity to fight for the lead once again. In case you missed it, the caution was for Kellen Oakley and Philip Leeds spinning each other. After Kellen Oakley spun Leeds out, he continued to drive and ran right into Philip Leeds again, causing terminal damage that ended his day. In the meantime, Zach Armstrong's your leader. He gained this position by passing Ben Dover during green flag run that lasted 49 laps before our first caution on lap 50. And the restart's going to come here on lap 55 with 45 laps to go, and likely everyone will have to pit at least one more time before the end of the race. So we'll see how that plays out. It's possible that cautions will breed cautions here too. There seems to be always a potential factor. And with this, we've got some drivers with an opportunity to fight for the lead that haven't had a, fighting chance all day. Ant Me Person has shown that he's had a fast truck coming from the back of the field up into top 3 as of right now. Seems that Ben Dover is going to be a unlucky beneficiary of this caution, as he's got faster trucks that are going to keep him from having a decent finish in the top 5 here. Looks like Me Person might be getting by, and Piano might be able to fight back on the outside here. Keep the ticker on the back end of the field there, so we can kind of see how that's going. Looks like Ant's gonna finally succeed in getting second place here. The back and forth between these two is letting Zach get ever so slightly inching away in the front there. Ben Dover tried to take a dive bomb there, but didn't have much to do with it. Some new faces towards the front of the field, as I believe Louis Trost has cracked into the top 15. Yeah, Louis Trost currently sitting 13th. Really good outing for him so far. Your lead pack is kind of strung out at the moment, as Armstrong is protecting from a looming Guido Piano there in second. Chaz Chadwick is still not very fast, as he's fallen from 18th back to 21st right now. Guido Piano is wanting to make it interesting at the front here as he peeks on the inside of Zach. Ben Dover has led the most laps so far, but that might change the longer that Zach stays out front. Even though Kellen Oakley is out, 2 of his other team trucks are running solidly in the top 15, with Tim Cording and Jack Davis. wide there for what is about 9th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. By the way they're running so far, Ant Me Person's probably going to take the points lead back from Chaz Chadler. They're separated on track by about 15 places, and that'll just about amount to 15 points or more on track, probably closer to 20. So it could potentially go from an 11 point deficit to an 11 point advantage for Ant Me Person. Guido Piano, who's running second right now, having only showed up recently in the series. Guido Piano's only made 3 of the 9 starts so far, and sits 28th in the points. So even in his first 3 races, he's been able to beat a couple drivers that have made every start. And it looks like he's gonna try to pass for the lead here. It's been pretty relevant tonight. That outside line is kind of the preferred place to be, though. We're getting a lot of jockeying for position in the mid of the front there. Sadly, Ben Dover, our driver that led the most of the race in the early laps of this race, has fallen outside of the top 5. He's now running 6th at the moment. Tim Hansen is currently your top 5. Braden Hunt's making some moves to get more spots closer to the lead here. Three or top 5 are looking for their first win of the season. Zach Armstrong, Guido Piano, and Braden Hunt. The other 2 in the top 5 are looking for their second win on the season, being Tim Hansen and Ant Me Person. Might be Guido's trying just about everything he can, but Zach's playing a strong defense in the lead here. The good thing about the side-by-side racing for the lead is it keeps the rest of the drivers behind him pretty close at bay. Nathan Morgan drops really low down on the inside there. 30 laps to go. We still have 34 trucks out there running. Our final pit stops will likely come around lap 89 or 90 unless we get a caution here that'll bring everyone back down pit road once more. Seems like after that caution, the drivers that did make up positions have kind of stayed the course. We don't have a whole lot of drivers making moves through the field. Kind of seems like where you end up is about where you run for the rest of the night. Any pit stops or cautions kind of re-roll the dice for everyone. Amazingly enough, the fastest lap belongs to Jessica Hergeson, who's actually back in 13th at the moment. Jack Davis is in the top 10 right now. Above him is Al Bunch, Tim Hansen, Tim Cording, Nathan Morgan, Braden Hunt, Ben Dover, Anthony Person, then Guido Piano, and Zach Armstrong. Back of the field includes the damaged truck of Philip Leeds, Kinsella, Mullins, Bird, Berggren, and Legend, Robert, Ross, Cower, Rodriguez, and Weiss, Tristan Reams, Jordan Walker, Heidfeld, Maggie Reams, King, Chadwick, who's sitting in 17th, Brinker, Trevor Walker, Ladino, and Petrolski, who's having a decent outing with a 14th. Hergeson, Trost, and back to your top 10 again. Guido Piano makes a move and gets by Zach Armstrong for the lead here. Yet again, we've got a top two asserting themselves above the rest. Aunt Me Person's about 2 seconds back from the top two guys. Looks like Brinker's coming off pit road. I don't know if he had to make an unscheduled pit stop there or what. Still don't believe we're going to see the rest of the leaders pit till about 89. Perhaps some strategies involved there for Brinker, as he didn't have an opportunity to win the where he was running. He might get shuffled into the lead pack here and be able to draft with them with fresh tires, giving him an opportunity to gain some momentum on track. If he's fortunate enough and unlaps himself, looks like Heidfeld come out of the pits too, so all these drivers that are pitting will have enough fuel and it'll be good to go to the end here. Definitely assume there's some varying strategy going on. Braden Hunt amongst the top leaders. This might be a game changer. If he gets out there on fresh tires, he could definitely make up some ground on the leaders. It's a precarious position right now because all these drivers coming off pit road could cause a caution. If I was the leader, I'd probably look at pitting sometime soon to keep your advantage on the rest of the field. Just like that, our leader's pitting on lap 79 so he can maintain the advantage on the rest of the field. This will likely be a winning move of the race if we don't see a caution. Armstrong stays out, as well as Me Person and Ben Dover. Some of them might be lobbying for a caution here to stack the deck in their favor. Chadwick just pitted, so we're gonna have a lot of drivers mixing things up here at the end. So let's keep our eyes on Guido Piano here. See if he can maintain the lead. The one I'm also curious to see is where Braden Hunt shakes out in the midst of all of it. Having pitted a lap early, looks like he's actually behind. Well, Braden Hunt didn't gain much position, but his pit strategy is going to get him by Aunt Me Person, it looks like, and potentially one of our contenders for the win here, Zach Armstrong, is going to be swallowed up into the clutches of Braden Hunt here, right? As he's going to make the pass. Yep, fresher tire. The 68 truck's trying to warm up their tires to get back up to speed, so I believe that puts Braden Hunt up to third. New second place driver, Nathan Morgan, which is a surprising second place driver. He must have worked the pit strategy to perfection to gain as much momentum on the lead as he did. If Piano would have stayed out even one lap later, I don't believe he could have kept the lead like he did. Lap traffic here might end up slowing him down a bit. Guido is making quick work of the lap traffic here, it looks like, and is staring down the barrel of his first victory within his first 4 or 5 starts of the season. Even after I mention that, it looks like he loses some momentum to those traffic. See if he actually loses any time to the second place driver. A little bit. Still, they're 2.5 seconds back. These guys will have to hold him up for quite a while for it to actually cause any trouble for the leader. Loses some more ground to Nathan Morgan there. At that pace, Nathan Morgan might be right on his bumper within the closing laps. Guido's going to have to hope that this lap traffic dissipates enough so that he gets by him. We might be looking at a 3 or 4 truck fight at the end of this thing here. Mildly a heartbreak for Ben Dover, who led plenty of laps this evening, falling all the way back to 10th. Now the lead's under a second as Nathan Morgan is closing ever closely in on the leader. You got Braden Hunt and Zach Armstrong there too, which will be a 4-truck fight. Amongst our top 5 drivers from last week, it doesn't look like anyone's going to secure the Pepsi sponsorship with back-to-back top 5s. Guido Piano last night finished 7th. Nathan Morgan is not eligible as he's sponsored by Sprite. Braden Hunt ended up finishing 18th last night. Zach Armstrong 31st, and Me Person wound up finishing outside the top 15 as well. 14th actually, inside the top 15. Ten laps to go. Guido's going to have to hope that the second, third, and fourth place driver don't catch up. Kellen Oakley, with his last place finish tonight, will be eligible to race for Columbia as a sponsor next race. Luis Rodriguez with a terrible night, as well as Tristan Reams having a terrible outing in 33rd. Damaged truck of Philip Leeds has managed to at least get by 2 drivers. Taden Berggren in 31st. Krista Cower went from finishing 2nd last night to having a 30th place run tonight. James Robert, Jordan Walker, Gavin Legend, Maggie Reams, William Kinsella, Austin Mullins, David Bird, Atlee Weiss, James King, Trevor Walker, Paulo Ladino, Brandon Petrolsky, Tim Hansen, Jessica Hergeson. Looks like Chaz Chadwick's going to improve for a top 15 finish, and his points contender of Aunt Me Person with a likely top 5 finish. So that points battle is still going to be pretty dang tight. The 11-point deficit's probably going to swing in the favor now of a handful of points for Aunt Me Person to the lead. Morgan is looming ever so slightly in the background there. He's about to close in under a second now on the leader. Guido Piano is going to have to hope that he can get by Reams here with no hassle. Looks like he finally pulls it off, but I think the damage has been done because our second, third, fourth drivers are in the picture. And Tristan Reams is going to do the passover maneuver and try to take that position back from him. Guido manages to pass him on the outside and keep the position away from the lap traffic there. Got 5 laps to go. And it's all Guido Piano's race to lose here. Guido had a really slow lap there. It looked like he pulled down onto the apron almost. Nathan Morgan is under a second now from him. This race is far from over. Seems like Nathan Morgan's just going to have to figure out a way around these lap trucks here. Race has been pretty steady, pretty much follow the leader for the most part. We've had a few changes for the lead during green flag runs. Ben Dover led majority of the early laps, followed by Armstrong during our first green flag run of 49 laps. And on lap 50 we had our first caution, one and only caution, where Kellen Oakley and Philip Leeds tangled. Due to this pit stops and stuff, that caution helped some drivers get to the front that hadn't been there all day. But your majority of the lead has been shared between Guido Piano, who just recently took the lead in exchange of green flag pit stops on lap 87. Zach Armstrong, who was leading prior to that, and then Ben Dover, who led your first 40 laps or so. Two laps to go here. A caution would end the race. Guido Piano is going to have to maintain the buffer of lap traffic there to keep it in his wheelhouse for the win. Amp Me Person has managed to improve most amongst everyone, coming from deep in the pack to a top 5. Matthew Fastnot with a good race tonight in 6th. Lewis Trost with a decent 7th. Tim Cording is doing good in 8th. Our early leader of Ben Dover in 9th. Jack Davis, last night's winner, running 10th. Chaz Chadwick has still managed to gain a couple more spots, jumping from 15th now up to 11th. Roland Heidfeld, probably his best run of the season, in 12th. Tim Hansen, Al Bunch, and Jack Ross. Brandon Petrolsky, Jessica Hergeson, Trevor Walker, John Brinker and Paulo Ladino. James King, Austin Mullins, Atlee Weiss, David Bird, Kinsella Jr., Maggie Reams, Gavin Legend, Jordan Walker, James Robert, Krista Cower, and then the last 5 on the list there. Last round around the track here as he's coming in on turn 3. Gonna make turn 4 here and still manage to maintain the lead over the rest of the field, as Guido Piano, in his 4th start of the season, just like last night, Jack Davis winning on his 3rd start. We have another surprise winner with Guido Piano. Some drivers deep in the points that are locking themselves into the playoffs. Amp Me Person holds on for a top 5. Chaz Chadwick manages to limit the bleeding as he only allowed Ant to gain 6 position worth of points. I wouldn't be surprised if that's good enough to keep it tied roughly for the points lead. Brandon Petrolsky with a top 15. Paul Ladino with a top 20. And the majority of your points paying drivers all the way back to 25th there. I am pondering I might run Coca-Cola Super Speedway tonight. I'm trying to figure out if I need to do the Busch race next or do the next truck race. Since everyone's still tuned in for the truck race, I might... Well, I'll go ahead and run the Busch race in the next one here. I'm gonna get this all saved and tied up for the truck race. And then we'll have another race and likely 2 more races tonight. So I can take 1 week off in a couple time. Next, not this week, but the following week, I'll take a week off from streaming so that I can go to the county fair. So an impressive showing from Guido Piano, having a fast run to the front. Taking home victory over Nate Morgan, Braden Hunt, Zach Armstrong, and Ant Meperson. Fortunately, Eurospeedway didn't have a victory screen, so... Oh, wrong button. So thanks again everyone for tuning in for this race. We had a pretty mild race, not much action. There's some good passes for the lead, and did have one caution unfortunately that involved Kellen Oakley. But stay tuned because I am going to get the next race going here in about 15 minutes. So this stream, I am signing out.